on Loose Lines in front of a studio audience today. Toby McKinnon, mate, we're live.
Are you ready now?
Yeah.
Mate.
Bloopers.
I am fair income. I'm up to lot 280. It's taken you that long to get ready here today.
On location. It is a little bit dark. We've had a little bit of a power outage. We've lost a light while we've been going, trying to get everything ready.
Leave the light on for me.
The studio is Daniel Hibbard. Hello, mate.
Hello, gentlemen. Pleasure to be back on this Monday holiday afternoon, and great to a bit different show today. I'm on my lonesome a little bit.
Yeah, riding solo, mate. We're over here. We've actually been doing a little bit of video work and some voiceovers for two lots, Tobes, going through this year's sale. You can, I'll let you elaborate a little bit more so I don't get in trouble with the family.
Yes, Paul. We are at the Yering Equestrian Centre. And, my brother's place here. So we're in the beautiful Yarra Valley, and it's lovely, fine and sunny, and about 13 degrees here today. I was up to lot 280, ironically, which was one of my brother's lots as I was going through the Nutrient Equine book, Paul. It's a beautiful roll with Joe filly out of a mare called Forest Art. Anyway.
If anyone wants to know, that's actually the same cross as Ignatius. There's not too many of the roll with Joe's, I believe.
Oh, look at Mr. Homework over here, eh?
Well, I've got to do it. I've got to know that catalogue inside out and back to front. I've got lots of videos going on. And
sheets were involved and he was doing his homework. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. How's your week been, Daniel?
Busy week. Had 3 greyhound meetings to call during the week, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday night at Shep. So, yes, it was a very busy few days there, and just enjoying a nice, relaxing public holiday day off. So, but it's a lot of fun at the Dogs the last couple of nights.
Yeah, we actually did Horsham Dogs with the great man Troy Harley the other night. It was a lot of fun. Different group. Tell you something very, very funny. Hang on a sec. This is very funny. There's one young bloke. There was a fishing group, and they had a bit to drink, and I don't think he was handling his liquor real well, and he's rolled out backwards over the hill while we're doing a recording. And he gets himself up and he looks around. He's like, no one's seen it. So then I waddled her over a little bit later on. I said, all of Facebook's seen that. You should have seen the look on his face. All the boys are like, no, he didn't go out backwards. And he's like, yeah, I did actually go out backwards. So it was a bit of fun. There was a lot of people there.
On a fishing trip, eh?
They have a big fishing day at Horsham.
I've got a question for you, Paul.
Fishing comp there, yeah.
Would you rather give someone a fish every day, or would you rather give them a rod once?
Due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm not answering that question, okay? we are not going there, and well done. I'll tell you what, it was good to see great dogs. Daniel's getting more about him, but Shimmer Shine, what an absolute superstar of a greyhound it is. Not going to the Shepparton Cup, Daniel. You'll be upset about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually had the privilege of calling a dog called Winburn Sheehan. Did a solo trial there on Saturday night, and he actually broke the track record in a solo trial. So that was a bit of a thrill there, and he'll be going for the Shep Cup. So a bit of excitement coming up with the Shep Cup here in the next couple of weeks with the greyhound.
Did they do the solo trial in a kayak down the rapids?
I thought you were going to go this way. I was going to go, I hope you got them in finishing order.
Yeah, well,
remember the solo?
For 25 seconds, so it's pretty easy to talk about one dog for 25 seconds. But it was that was pretty easy on Saturday night.
I know it had Horsham talk in that dog's trial. Actually, it made a few people sit up and that jumping backwards and forwards on the boat to Tassie. Straight back that night. Back, it'll come back. They're amazing greyhounds how they can go backwards and forwards. We digress. Topes, how's your week been, mate?
Yeah, not bad. I'm involved in a sport called the Trots. So I work on the Trots, Paul, and we have this sport, harness racing. We have horses go around in races, and so been busy with a sport called the Trots.
Been busy with the sport called Trots. No cups this week, was it?
Yep, there was Birchip yesterday and Wangaratta at Shepparton yesterday. Paul took a day off yesterday and probably needed it. We all need to straighten things up a little bit in our lives, Daniel, and we will note that you have straightened up that photo in the background because we did have someone note that the photo in the background wasn't straight, and we'll give it to you. It is dead eye straight this week.
It better be, because otherwise you'll be the
we-
first to know
we-
about it.
We got the level out and just made sure it was all lined up. We don't want the viewers out there thinking that this is a half-hour show. So we made sure that we got everything perfect and lined up nicely for today's episode.
Toby's directing traffic. I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly what he's... Oh, I see what
Just
he's
let
doing.
me check here.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she's spot on, Dan. Well done.
He's got
Thank you.
he's got the brother
He's on
doing
the level.
everything. and
He's told the truth, Paul. He's on the level.
he's here all day. Thank you, Danny, for taking that as well, because I know what would happen when that hit the ground. It's going to echo right through it, so don't you worry about that.
Actually, I haven't been on the spirits yet, but we will get to the mojitos later. So Emma's going to arrive shortly, and we'll have a mojito each.
When you go to the nutrient sale, anyone that's watching this at all, and they come across the Yearing, what are we actually? The Yearing Equestrian Park,
Yearing Equestrian Centre.
Equestrian Centre. They've got some beautiful bibs and all the rest. You'll meet Tanya. Feel sorry for Tanya, because I tell you, she used to enjoy Toby's jokes, and even she's as sick as him as what I am today. And he was only here for a minute. She goes, I can't stand these. And he was only here for a minute. It was unbelievable. So it's a family trait. Danny takes no notice. So you won't hear one of them come out of his mouth. He takes not one bit of notice, Daniel. So it's just one unique individual of the family. Now, boys, me hat. There's been some conjecture about me hat, okay?
It's terrible, Paul.
Al Morrow would like to know, Toby, your fashion sense, where your fashion comes from. She seen me yesterday at the show. She goes, I can't believe he can pick on the hat. So where do you get your fashion sense from? Where do you get your styling from, Topes?
It's better than this, Paul. Fair dinkum.
This hat is sensational. You've seen a show called The Peaky Blinders?
No. Was it filmed 218 years ago?
Yes. And since then, they've
Yep.
knocked out selling these hats.
I've only seen 2 people under 50 wear a hat like that. One of them's you, and one of them's a clown sitting over there,
Jason Richardson.
me brother.
Jason Richardson wears one every week. Shane Warne. They don't count.
Shane Warne's just, yeah.
I had it on racing.com. Was just watching a couple of races in Adelaide before and saw Terry McAuliffe with one on.
Thank you very much.
The first thing I thought of was Paul Campbell. What the hell's going on here? I mean, they're all wearing them.
It's the only way to go.
You will note I have my NZB's Danabred gab on. It has officially landed.
Cam Bray has delivered.
So thanks, Cam, for that. Just looking forward to the polo. I had to go the blank one. I do have the beanie. It's almost beanie weather. This is in Terang. We call this a cap in Terang, basically. So if I'm in Terang, I'll have this on, and if I'm anywhere else in the state, I'll have the hat on.
Must say, it's a little bit of low light. That is actually a pale blue, that hat, but you can't see it. Daniel can't even see it at all. The one wonders are going through. Run sheet, Topes, how are we going?
Yep, let's head off to... I
don't have to worry about the run sheet, Daniel. Toby's got it all under control. I'm just going to sit back and push some buttons, and I've got it sorted.
We're going to go to the Wangaratta at Shepparton Pacing Cup. Now... Paul had a day off yesterday, so he probably didn't see these races. And
I've got it up for us right now, Topes.
You've got it up on the screen and
Yep.
going. Dan, you would have watched these live, and I Cast No Shadow. He got followed all the way by Uncle Jord, which is a pretty good effort when the horse cast no shadow, because she had a little bit less to follow, Paul.
Daniel, over to you, mate. Please get us out of this.
It was a pretty even field of a country cup. This one, obviously, one of the lower prize money cups, the $14,000 Wang Cup. But it was a good race. I Cast No Shadow sat well back in the field. The way I was sort of watching the race, I thought, he might struggle to get into this, but they'd actually run at a pretty solid tempo in the early part. They just on a minute or close to a minute for the first half, pulled out 3 wide at going out of the straight. As we said, Uncle George got the trail forward, and I thought Mummy's Boy, who'd led up, was still in with a fighting chance turning for home, but Alfred just got the best out of I Cast No Shadow and just drew away, and Uncle George was steaming home late, had a nice trail. It was a beautiful drive by Abby following Chris into the race, but just ran out of ground. And Major Jody, well, it was an absolute tragedy beaten. I think if you're back that you would have been... crying in your milk for a few hours after the race because it galloped on the home turn and then flew home for third. Mummy's Boy was quite good after leading up in fourth, but I think all honours to the winner there for I Cast No Shadow. Did all the work in the last lap. 157.8 the mile rate, and they ran home in 56.8, and he's 3 wide off the track. So, he was too good, and really, I guess there's no excuses for the rest of them because they all had their chance.
He's a lovely horse, I cast no shadow. I remember seeing him the first couple of times when he came in, and you're just like, wow, he's going to win some nice races. I think he's going to get better as well as it goes on because he is a nice horse on the up and does a really, really good job.
He took 3 runs last time to really get going as well and win a race, so he's done a similar thing this time. It might be 3 runs in, and then he wins again. So
he was good at
He
was very good at Wedderburn in the Wedderburn Cup.
And then it was 6 days later at Melton as well when he was good again. So he had couple of solid hit-outs to get his fitness up. But
he's one of those horses you ever get to a racetrack. Like he's not a high, he's not a major selling sort of horse or that, but he is well worth getting in the parade ring to have a look at him because he's a beautiful liver chestnut and he's got a lot going for him, that's for sure. So,
well, lead rating that was pretty slow. I just punched it in while Dan was talking. It was only a 29.8, Dan. So 29.8 lead rate, 29.3, 30.9. That's only moderate tempo. So they have gone well to come from the back.
And find the line.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I thought Mummy's Boy did sort of pull a little bit hard in front there for Lee Sutton, but the run it had, I thought, going into the back straight, I thought it's going to be a real chance here. But for Ryman, I can't say shadow to get into the race and even just to win it shows his class because really tempo didn't suit him at all.
No, definitely not. The Trotters Cup. I reckon this horse has a chance of winning a cup or two. I thought he had a good chance. He's just putting a picket fence of them together, isn't he? He's doing a stellar job.
He's well defined, all right, Paul. You're off and out. Are you out of here, eh? All right. Well, thanks for coming anyway. He's just Ararat, Terang, Bort, and now Wangaratta as well. He's 7 starts this season for his 4 wins that come from the cups. He's ran second in the Cobram Cup. He went back to the Great Southern Star. He didn't make the final, and then he's just gone bang, 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 bang. And it's just what more can we say about him? Is you've got it up on here, Dan. I don't know what you want to add to it as you would have been watching it live. Just an amazing effort.
This is by far his best win out of the 4. He shouldn't have won the race. To be frank, he shouldn't have won the race. They went really hard early on. He stepped away all right and was flying in the first part of the race. But he got to the lead. Monaro Mia came around and took the lead. Josh Duggan drove a brilliant race. And then, Robbie Royale came around and took the lead. And then Monaro Mia went to the front, sort of turning in. And for all intents and purposes, had the race won. And Ellen's done a great job to get the horse well defined off the peg line, come out 3 deep, and come down the outside and nail it on the line. And it was virtually right on the line that it got up. It was a superb effort. And, 4 in a row. Look, it's been getting into the races so well on the handicaps. I know it's off 30 metres, but the small fields have suited it. Everything sort of fell into place for it. But you've still got to do the job on the track. And that's by far the best of the 4 wins, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And as our offsider says from time to time, it's a genius because it found the line smack on at Shepparton because there's only one other trotter that can do it, isn't there?
McLovin and, maybe McLovin told Alex Ashwood when he was at Andy Gath's, and then Andy's told...
Alex has told Kate, Kate's told
Alex
Ellen.
Told Kate, Kate's told Ellen, and Ellen's told Well Defined.
Flick.
There's
going to be more noted than...
Just be careful when you write that, Paul. Just be careful.
Don't get the F and the L too close together.
The L and the I, Paul. You don't want the L and the I too close together.
Oh, I went the other way. Okay, mine was G-rated. We'll keep it going. But doing an awesome job, that horse, and it was good to see him win. And I think the other horse was okay down under Barkers, although beaten a little way. KD Hargraves is having a stellar year with some of these trotters going forward. They're doing an awesome job.
Now we will get to the other cups later in the show, Paul. But before
is that on the run sheet? It
is on the run sheet. Yeah, sort of. Treble clef.
I'm having trouble finding that.
Yeah, well, it's next to your marbles. Now, something we've talked a lot on this show each week about is the State Drivers' Premiership. And last week, Chris Elford went gangbusters. He shot 7-8 wins clear of Jack Law. You remember
reckon
that?
I'd have a tile of this up, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, I've given up on you. Fair dinkum.
You did the tiles this week.
What am I, Tyler now? We're in Danny's half-built Renault here. I could do the Tyler for you if you want.
Can
Chris
I
Alford-
say thank goodness for it because it's very wet out there.
Chris Alford, 39. Jack Law is back to 38. He's only one behind him, and this time last week he'd shot 6-7 clear. Greg Sugars is creeping on up. He's doing a bit of creeping, Greg Sugars, on to 34. The Tassie wins don't count. Calm down. James Herbson, 33. And ring-a-ding-ding, Mick Bellman is 27. And your tip for it, Paul, Kate Gath, is 24, 15 behind.
Jack
Honourable
was
mentions,
also one of my tips. Thank you very much.
honourable mention to Chris Inacio as well, who's absolutely flying.
Oh, cha-ching, cha-ching.
He's on
Cha-ching,
every
cha-ching,
premiership. He's on every
cha-ching.
premiership. Driver, trainer, state and metro.
Didn't know better. I'd say you're trying to keep sweet with him in case it's a wet week next week. That's all. I'll just put that out there and just leave it at that. Rightio.
So, Paul got me to do the tile, so let's go to the first tile, Paul. It's Pangrosio's won a race at Shepparton, and Dan, you can't see this yet, but you know his little tiles at the bottom. He's got me to do them, and Paul doesn't know it either. I didn't call it Pans Out on Barrastock like on the run sheet. It's actually Paul's Pangrazio fetish.
So the idea of those little banners is to look after the sponsors. But I'm going to go with the cha-ching. Pangrazio's have got a heap going into the nutrient sale. We're going to promote what they've got coming up.
All right.
You got that? Just do this.
While you're talking, I'll find it.
I was just going to put the catalogue up just as a prop, a moving prop. Geez, we work better together than we do apart, I reckon. It won the Barrastock Trot, and it is a handful of horse. And I think well done to Neville Pangrazio. I think he's done a great job with this horse. He's backed himself. He doesn't drive a lot of winners, but he's doing a good job with this trotter, that's for sure, Daniel.
Yeah, well, once he sort of started to find form, he's been able to keep it. We sort of have mentioned previously. Well, I certainly have known this horse for a while, obviously calling it the trials, and he's obviously been a long-term project, but he's just finally clicked, and things are starting to really work for him. Led on Tuesday at Shep. There was a false start, which sort of you would have thought might have thrown a bit of spanner in the works, but stepped straight in the front. A couple of the main chances made mistakes, and when he threw a 27-9 third quarter at them, that pretty much broke their heart. They only ran home in 31.6, and he still won by 13 metres, so gave them a toweling in the end. Just going back through his stats, he's obviously won 2 in a row now. He's had 8 starts on the track at Shep. If you take out his first 4 career starts were all at Shep. His last 4 starts on the track have been 3 wins and a second. So he obviously, he obviously knows how to trot around Shep. He's really clicked, and he's a really nice horse. And since Neville's basically taken over the driving on him, he obviously won the last 2 on him. Some horses just click with particular drivers, and obviously Neville will do a fair bit of work on him at home. We mentioned previously with Well Defined how Ellen's clicked with that horse, and obviously the same sort of thing might have happened with Wildom Zaid, because absolutely flying at the moment.
He's a unique horse. He's a bit hot, gets a little bit hot, but you just got to actually keep him that bit hot as well. You can't settle him down too much. Daniel, before we started this show, Tobe says to me, "Don't worry, I'll carry you." You saw his first effort, Paul's Pangrazio fetish, or whatever it actually was, mate. I am glad you're on the show. I'm glad you put a hat on, I must say as well. But
he is carrying us both, Fetty.
Yeah.
He's done research, homework. He's got 2 things, Paul, that you and I need to sit down and have a think about. Knowledge and facts.
We're 20 minutes into the show and he's already knocked us out of the park. He's back on the cricket ground and all the rest. Which one have you found? Oh, you found a duffer there, lot number 63.
A duffer?
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, Topes.
Well, there's 5 of them, Paul, and I was trying to pick which one was the best, to be honest, and it was pretty hard. There's families of Mary, Time, Vincennes, all sorts of great families. This is the one I've settled on, though. A M&M Pangrazio, lot 63, by Father Patrick out of Maori Sunshine, and I dread some of the names that'll come in for these Father Patricks, God help us. It's a sister. No, it's a colt. So it's a brother to Moonshine Linda, who we know won the New South Wales Trotters Oaks Vic Bred Super Series. Moonshine Linda Yeah, Danny Boucher's in the film. Moonshine Linda, who ran second? Was that who you ran second to? No, that was...
Nice try. If you're going to hang shit on... If you're going to hang shit... No, Moonshine... Moonlight Dream.
Moonlight Dream,
Yes.
that's right, when you ran second.
Yep. In a Group 1, Topes.
Yeah, that's right.
How many horses have you trained into a Group 1?
Did you train the horse, did you?
Just putting it out there.
Did you, the steward's listening, did you train the horse?
Okay. How many people... No, I won't go there. I'll get myself into trouble for that one as well, but that's fine. It's
Next
all,
up, Paul.
all good. Next,
Do something.
I will do it right now. This is a good story, actually, isn't it?
It is a good story. Now, there's a fella out there, John Kennedy, and John trains, I thought it was Pyramid Hill, Paul, but Yarrawalla, wherever Yarrawalla
I'd say,
is.
no, Pyramid Hill's close. Yeah,
Is
it's
it Pyramid Hill?
Yep.
He's an absolutely terrific bloke. Absolutely terrific. He's got some not really unusual techniques, but he likes jogging. He's telling me one day, many years ago actually, about how he jogs his horses for 3-4 months before he sends them away to other trainers. He just likes to give them a nice long jog preparation. He's got a couple of horses at the moment he's sent to Mick Gadsden, a horse called Barmy Bob, had its first start at Bort.
Was a bit unlucky too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was actually. It was. Yeah, they could have had a real good week, Mick and Denby.
Then Captain Bling was a 3-year-old first starter of his, and it went to Shepparton, and it's been Mick Gadsden's been on Media Street ever since. He's been on the news and everything, as you can imagine. And yeah, so Captain Bling winning for John Kennedy, who's a great man from Pyramid Hill and a great volunteer at the Bort Harness Racing Club as well. And Mick and Denby, of course, got another winner with Sporting Model on the night. Denby's had 4 wins for the week, I think.
No, 4 for the month of February.
No, she got one Friday night as well.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Since? Oh, okay.
At Mildura.
At Mildura, very good. Okay, well, she's had a great week then, so yeah.
John, of course, trained a good mare called Calabrindle, who has been off the scene for a couple of years, no doubt, in foal, and just a soul-to-the-earth sort of bloke, so great to see John. Don't think, Mick. Who was the Mick? So
keep saying.
The famous John Kennedy speech went, don't think, Mick. Don't hope, do. At least you can come off and say, I did this. I shepherded it.
Camera up there.
I play on.
That one, it doesn't work.
Oh, I'm looking at Dan. I'm not looking in his eyes. Who was the Mick?
Right.
Say, if you can just... I don't know who the Mick was. Someone will know the Mick. Just put it down below in the comments or whatever you're watching this on. We just want to know who the Mick was in the do something speech. Don't think, Paul. Do.
Rightio. March 14, Charlton Cup Day. Big punt off coming on as well. They're doing a lot of promotions going forward as well. So good luck to the club on March 14 with the Charlton Club with Denby Wade and the likes. We've got to keep promoting as much as we can going forward. I think
next Sunday, Paul.
I think you two
10
clowns,
punters locked in.
You 2 clowns going to be there. And how's that?
10 locked in. Mitch Sidebottom. Mitch Sidebottom.
Did he get bowled out?
No, he's made the grand final, but he still wants in. So he's going to form a team with someone and send them on his behalf. So he'll be rolling them down the green. This is classic Aussie stuff. He'll have Trot's Vision in one hand and rolling bowls down the other, and he'll have a can in his third hand somewhere.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. No, not when he's doing the bowls.
Oh, I realise that.
Yeah, he way too.
Full serious mode for Mitch.
Very, very serious.
Straight off the F45.
But what about the Charlton Club? I gave him a bit of a parting little clip the other day. Nikita and Cody Winnell are the Charlton representatives, and yet they've got the boys from Charlton there, and they've got to come up with a silly name like the Dynamic Duo. Batman and Robin. I mean, fair dinkum.
Yeah, that's Paddy Monahan and Joe McGrath you're talking
Frankie
about.
McGrath's son. And what'd you say, that Paddy goes out with John Kennedy's daughter or something
Correct.
like that?
That's what Patrick told you in your show, but you don't seem to listen when people talk.
I try not to. Sorry, did you say something?
You're working with me. That's probably a good idea.
My ears hurt.
Cocktail hour, Paul. This one will be more professional because it's Dan's turn. Cocktail hour, Mojito Madness for Dylan Stratford. First 2-year-old trot of the year, and geez, it trotted well, Dan.
Yeah, it did. I was still, I back on the road back home after calling the dogs there on Wednesday, and I
cha-ching.
just watched the replay.
I've got to get that cha-ching button going.
Again. I watched the replay. This looked an absolute picture of a trotter in its action. Love the white bandages on the back legs as well. Pinged away from the stand. Well, if you can call it a stand. They didn't sort of stand all that still, but that's an issue for later on. But it pinged away and led. It was raced clear of the field for the majority of the trip, and was pretty much in control the whole way along. 5.2 the mile rate, last half 59.7. It's out of the mare called Sunny Folly, and it's had 8 foals to go to the races, and 7 of them have won. So it's obviously done a great job in the breeding barn. The only one that hasn't won has had 4 starts and hadn't done anything. So, but the rest of them included Invasive, Son of Paco, Elusive Charm, and Dr. Sam. So a bit of some handy trotters in that group. So it's obviously got some ability. And based on that first up win with Zach in control in the car, there's obviously going to be a good 2-year-old season ahead for it, you would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. And in the catalogue, Davey's got it right now. Lot number 164 in this Nutrien sale. Geez, we'll have to get some money.
I'll tell you
boys.
what,
hey,
you wouldn't believe that they put nothing into this, do you? Like the amount of advertisement we do for Nutrien here, and it is just genuine. They are lot 164, and if you don't believe me, go get the catalogue. Lot 164, Bacardi, Lindy, Sunny Foley, and none of this was planned either, Paul. Just we wanted to talk about the first 2-year-old trotting winner, and Dylan Stratford doing a fantastic job from Cranbourne. He came over from New Zealand. He just winged it, came here with no horses, no plans, found a place. He walked around the sales asking people if he could break their horses in just to get some business. He's ended up at Cranbourne. David Scott, a very passionate man about supporting young people coming through in the sport. He's helped him out no end, and great result for David and for Dylan in that race.
David Scott, Daniel, I don't know if you've watched it. I've done an interview on Campbell's comments there in regards to it. Before February, it's all about me. This is Campbell's comments. Oh, it's on Loose Lines, on Campbell's comments. It doesn't matter, it's Campbell's comments. He actually said that they think it goes very good. It wasn't even named, but he was hoping that they would get that name. So well done to him. That horse has been prepared by Kath McIntosh. I'll go for it. Ching. I've got some live yearling parades coming up for Kath very, very shortly. Second last week before the sale, so late March, early April. That will be going up. So we'll be doing a live cross there as well, and that little trot will be one of them. But make sure you get in touch with Northern Rivers Equine at any stage and go there. They actually proudly work in conjunction with Woodlands as well. Mark Hughes will be watching. He'll be loving this. Andrew Soper, hello mate. We haven't mentioned Barristock much, but g'day. It's all good. While we're talking about the 2-year-old race, who's going on for? I'm presuming when I've heard some of the eccentricness, it's going to be the man to my left that is going to come up with Angove's Quintet. Is this right, Tobes?
Yeah, Paul. These are supposed to be notables, and I don't think there's anything more notable than getting 4 2-year-old trotters in the first 2-year-old of the year. Brad told his father, and you will hear a lot of this on SEN, where I do me A stuff.
I need the cha-ching going.
I do the A material on SEN, and I thought this would carry over to B grade stuff as well for this show. But Brad said to his dad 4 years ago, I'll win the first 2-year-old trot of the year with a Gavintet Avenger, and he got awfully close running second with
How far was he beat,
Sting of a Wasp. Well, he was beat 3.2 metres.
It actually looked like it was nearly going to beat it.
The mares weren't even in foal at this stage, Paul, when he declared he was going to win the first race with it. He's got 8 2-year-old trotters, Brad Angove, and 7 of them have qualified already. The other one needed time, so he's tipped it out. He got 4 into this race. It's a pretty amazing effort. The Gavintet Avengers, it's only served 30-odd foals for the year, and 7 of them are qualified already, which is an amazing strike rate. And it's $900 a service fee. So Gavintet, ironically, means in Finnish, quintet. Or
quintet.
4, and there was 4 for Brad Angove in the race. They weren't all by Gavintet Avenger. Only 2 of them were Sting of a Wasp and Ebony's Avenger. So Brad going really well with Sundance Courage, going really well with his 2-year-olds. Sundance Courage has served some mares as well, and I've put a challenge to Brad that he wins the first 2-year-old trot of the year in 2 years' time with a Sundance Courage. Paul's got one, have you?
No, but it's by Sundance. So you shouldn't have put that pressure on him.
Oh, yeah, because they don't get up. It ran 3rd in a Redwood, Sundance Courage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a lovely trotter. He's a great job. I remember doing trots vision with Kirsten Graham around Bendigo one day, and he came past and he goes, he was a dad today, so he's actually got some foals on the ground. So
Yeah, he does, yeah.
So which was pretty cool. So he was parading and he had a couple of foals on the ground.
Now, the next one,
Daniel
Daniel
Disco Hibbard, are you ready to go with the next one? He's a great bloke, this man, I must say, and well done to him.
He is.
Yeah, a Quinella for Boyo at Melton on Saturday night. Castle Retreat and Frankie ran the Quinella in the last race of the night. They settled a last and second last, and they ran a Toby's lead rate of 27.8. So the pace was on for them at the start, and then they went 29.9, 30.7, and then 29.5, 29 the last quarter. So the pace was on pretty steady through the last mile, but they really went pretty quick for the lead time. James Herbertson came to the outside with Castle Retreat and ran past them in the straight, and Frankie did a really good job to run into second. He was a fair way off them, sort of turning for home. Boyo was driving him and got up for second on the line. So really good stable Quinella there for the team. It's probably been a little bit of a lean run with winners, but the horses have been going really well of late. Castle Retreat had no luck at Cobram last time, but 2 runs prior to that were really good. A couple of placings at Shep and Melton. And Frankie, who'd won at Cobram at his last run, he's just a good bread and butter horse, that horse. So just going through some of his stats, every time he's gone to the races, he's essentially earned $1,000. He's won just on 30,000 in stakes from his 31 starts. So, you know, he's going. Every time he goes to the races, he's bringing food on the table home for everybody else. So he's doing a good job. Great to get the Quinella there. Look,
he's not bringing the bread
Boyo
home.
finished.
He brings the soup home, and then you have the bread with the soup, Paul.
Soup. Surely you get $1,000 a week every time he goes round. You can afford more than soup. No,
it's good quality soup.
They want to be
Shifted out under pressure.
chicken noodle, Daniel.
Shifted out under pressure. Soup.
No, you'd want pumpkin. Surely you'd want pumpkin soup, I reckon.
For $1,000 a go, you'd want it to polish your shoes as well.
Boyo had a good weekend, though. He finished off the weekend driving all victory Hanover for Mardo at Shep. It was a really good win. It's been listening to the Trots Vision report with Rob Orber last night. The horse nearly died, I think, in the last sort of 12 months. So they've done a really good job to getting back to the track. But win last night was really strong. They sort of ran pretty hard and set it up for it, but Boyo did a good job to land the prize there. I think it was about 15 to 1 or something like that. So a nice price winner there to end the week for Boyo after the Quinella at Melt.
You reckon, Dan, he's gone in, he's won on all victory Hanover, query improved performance, and you reckon Boyo just went, well, Josh Aiken drove it last time, so you'd expect it to improve.
He didn't win at Melton, though. Boyo didn't.
No, he ran second.
I was going to say, the young bloke beat him.
But I reckon you never seen a bloke go to the line to run second as happy as he would have been. He would have been just... He was trying. I'm not saying he wasn't trying. Don't be silly. He was trying, and he would have been looking and thinking, this is the best. I'm going to Quinella this. And he really is a terrific bloke. And we interviewed him at Shepparton, which we mentioned before, and he gave us a heat that night. So, amazing. Like, I didn't really follow him at all before that. Not that much, you know. I knew who he was, and I know his son worked so hard on the track there. But ever since I've followed him, every starter he's had, just terrific fella.
And don't forget Colleen, the job she does at Shepparton Harness Racing Club. They're tireless workers. They really are. They do a great job. So
that could be the Boyington Racing Centre, really. Because Ian McDonald, he's just like the signpost out the front with a big M, isn't he? That's about all he's good for.
Shepparton, of course, proudly sponsored by Barristock as well. Hello, Macca. It's all good.
Macca can take a joke. Don't worry about that. This is me now, isn't it?
He's going there. I actually was just going to say I've been fortunate enough to know Boyo for a very, very long time. So, yeah, I must say he's good. And, of course, he gets his nickname maybe from his glory days when he was a little bit younger, but we won't go there with the old Disco. We'll just leave him alone, eh?
Disco, is that his nickname?
Yeah, that's his nickname, Disco Boyington, so don't worry. Mildura, Deaf, Taxes, Law and Tawny. You could have gone Law and Order.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that have worked as well?
Yeah, it would have worked.
He asked me, what are we going to say for this one? It's the same old, but it's a notable. It keeps happening, and it is a notable, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's hard not to put it as a notable. Jack Law goes to Mildura, drives his regular 3 winners. He averages 3 winners a week up there at the moment. One for Glenn Douglas, one for Julie Douglas, and one for Reese Moore. Alan Tormey got a double for Scott Garraway. Alex Ashwood got a couple of winners, and life's normal. And as you expect, Mildura keeps going around. Had an interesting chat with Michelle McGinty on SEN Track last week about the club is actually thinking about running, and it was my idea to her actually, running a meeting on, a Thursday night and then a Friday morning meeting to follow up, because at the moment they've got horses missing out on races, so they could run 9 races on a Thursday night and then 6 or 7 races on a Friday morning. So you could have 9 $7,000 races and then 6 or 7 $3,000 races, or 4.5s or whatever the next morning, and all the locals can get a run. The stewards stay up overnight, so they're already there. The race caller stays overnight. It's not out of the question, and not that crazy an idea, because there's that many horses up there at the moment and going up there. They've got the horses to do it. We need to supply the races for them.
Participants getting up there would be the issue.
No, but the next morning, some can stay. But,
No.
but you
I know in a real world that's ideal, but a lot of people are going on the smell of an oily rag.
No, but you've got to program those races on the Friday. So then a lot of the local horses can go around in those races on the Friday as well. So
Yeah, and don't worry, there's upsides to that. They could have a holiday while they're in Mildura as well.
Paul, we've got to keep trying things.
I just said you've got to look after the participants going backwards and forwards. Jack Law's drive on the Aussie horse was sensational. How he lifted it up over the line, and Bernie Winkle, and thought Luke was going to jump out of the box because he kept saying Bernie's coming, and when he wasn't, I reckon Lukey was like, I'm going to have to jump out and push him. He just didn't quite get there the overnight, but it's all good in the theatre of the races.
Aussie Batley, yeah.
Aussie Batley. It's a great drive. A young bloke wants to see how to pick a horse up. I don't necessarily agree with the lean, but Jack Law has got it down pat, and he can pick a horse up as good as anyone at the minute, that's for sure. He's doing a great job. I reckon our light's not far off going, Tobes. It just did a funny little thing just said. Dance. Can we not sing the song, please, Toby? No singing the song. Who's doing dance for me? Daniel, please tell me you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I am. And, well, I mean, Dance for me won the first there at Mildura on Friday for O'Brien Racing, and Neil McCallum got the drive and did a great job, won quite comfortably. It's had 6 starts for 2 wins and 2 minors, going very nicely, and I mean that's essentially the story of on the track. It was more off the track that was sort of the highlight, I guess. The social media play from the stable, using TikTok and making a video of Dance for Me driving the line. I'm not going to sing the song. I don't like the song. It's just, but that's for another discussion. But it was effective. It got people on Twitter having a look at it, and well done to them. It's a good use of the use of social media, and a good win by Dance for Me.
Think outside the square. Don't do it. Think outside the square. That's great, right? It was good, wasn't it?
It was good.
Yep.
And the next one was a Woodland Stud winner, Paul.
Except the song.
The next one was a Woodland Stud winner too, Soho Centre by American Ideal. Jordan Leadham, who's had a great week as well, Paul, driving a heap of winners this gid. He drove 2 at Birchip as well. Dan, I assume you watch this race too?
I didn't see this one, sorry to say.
Unbelievable. Throw you under the bus.
I just assumed you would have. So
young Geordie, they tell me Geordie's
I've just got a broken arm. The tyres just run over my arm and crushed my leg. Sorry.
Geordie Leadham is relocating, I believe, too, a little bit closer to Melton, I'd say. So bit of a change of environment. So
working for?
Can't say. Definitely couldn't say.
Initials APG.
There could be a bit of loving happening, so it'd be all good. Treble Clef rings out.
Oh yes, treble.
Tobes.
Mick Bellman, Paul, that got the treble at Birchip.
Why has he got the clef?
Because the Bellman, the musical clef. Treble clef.
Very, very
Treble
good.
clef.
Very good. That's
Rings
one of your
out.
better ones. Rightio, which way are you going? You got to tell me.
Trained and drive the first winner, Gracie Cullen. stuck it back in the stall, and he said to Gracie, now, Caesarean is next to you. You just can't win a race, Caesarean. It is the ultimate graffiti artist. Keeps getting bad barriers and running good thirds and fourths and fifths.
What's a graffiti artist? It's got to do with horse.
Puts a writing on the wall and never wins a race, Paul. I use it all the time. You would have heard me say it heaps of times.
What about the boys?
Actually,
You said I didn't listen to them. This is where it comes from.
He actually said to me that he was hoping that the horse would explain to Caesarean how to win a race. Can you believe that, Mick Bellman?
He's a rare unit, the Bellman, that's for sure.
He's almost as rare as myself, to be honest.
Which one are you going with next?
Then he won the Trotters Cup next.
Thank you
so
very much.
Go with the Trotters Cup. Quite amazing, this horse, Mass Destruction. It ran last behind a horse called Dell's Destiny, who won on Saturday night, Paul.
Ching.
Which wasn't in Lucinda Mack's race. It was in a later race to Lucinda Mack, who ran 6th, I think, from memory. Dell's Destiny did win that race. Mass Destruction galloped out, didn't take any real part in the race. It probably helped for the next day. For Brent Lilly. And Brent Lilly, we haven't got it as a notable, really, but he did train the trifecta. Father Christmas, it looked like it'd be his one for the year. You always say how much he loves these little tight turning tracks, and he got to the chimney top, and he come sailing down the chimney, but he couldn't quite get there quick enough, and Gallion's victories come in third. So the Girls Got Flair, there was a big bet on the Girls Got Flair by the Punters Club. Darren Carroll running the Punters Club up there. She just stood there at the start, and she said, sorry boys, not today, as we're just coming down to this. It's much easier, Dan, when you can see it. But you couldn't see it, but you timed it better than I did, and I can see it. That's how good I'm going, Paul. Father Christmas running second to Mass Destruction, and it was a Lily 1, 2, 3. Michael Bellman, you don't see driving for Brent Lilly too often, getting the chocolates on that one. And then he backed up to the Mallee Bull, which is a bit of a worry. And drove a horse called Dot the I for Dennis McIntyre. And you will note that McIntyre is spelt with a capital I, so you don't need to dot the I in McIntyre because it's got a capital I. The Shadow Play 7-year-old Paul. You can't believe I actually used that on air, can you?
I can't believe I've had to hear it 3 times, that's for sure. Daniel, we actually...
This horse won an Elmore Cup?
Yep.
Is it? Or is it a Wedderburn Cup?
No, Elmore.
Yep.
Elmore Cup.
Elmore, yeah.
Elmore.
Lukey picked it in the call, so Lukey might have called both of those. We actually were trackside when he won his previous race at Shepparton at 150 to 1, and there was fair to say there was one Dennis.
It was the last race.
McIntyre extremely happy post that they wouldn't wind his odds in, so I hope he might have had another little wager on this occasion.
That was for Bellman too, and Bellman was flying. And he drove about 5 horses at over 50 to 1 and got them home in about a space of 3 or 4 weeks. He drove it at St Arnaud too. I was there that day at St Arnaud on the 10th of November 2019 when it won. And Chris Sinosio drove it at Elmore.
He's got everything under control, Daniel. But I tell you, he's got a fair computer. I've worked out his little tricks. He's got the computers going all the time, so I've got him covered there. It's good. I just got to pull the power out every now and then from him. Yes, Daniel, you're going to offer something serious. I can see.
It was a great race actually. The Cup yesterday. It was a really competitive Mallee Bull Cup. It was a tactical affair, and Mick got his tactics absolutely right. The favourite CC in America with James Herbertson just got held up and couldn't get into the clear. Ended up running 4th and was a really hard luck story. I'd say just follow it going forward. It was timed it to perfection. Mick coming down the outside, waved to the crowd and landed the prize there. As we mentioned, Dennis in his speech was pretty happy about the whole situation. He said, I've won an Elmore Cup, I won a Birchip Cup, and I won it 150 to 1. And he said, he pretty much ticked the 3 things that he would have probably hoped to achieve with that horse. And in the speech as well, Mick suggested that he was going to go down the main street and ride the bull in the middle of Birchip. I wonder if that actually happened. We will have to find out.
He's probably still on it.
Got on board last night.
He's probably still on it. He's probably still on it.
But just on the 2 feature races there, the Mallee Bull Trotters and Pacing Cup, for people that it's obviously a half-mile track. There's not a lot of camber or anything on it. But if you want to win a race, those are the 2 races that you want to win. And the reason you want to win them is because of the trophies. The Mallee Bull trophies are such great pieces of pieces that are put together. I'm not sure who does it for the club, but they are really, really beautiful pieces, and they would look good on any trainer's mantelpiece. And look, if you've got a horse in that sort of class next year, I'd be aiming it for the Birchip Cup, because the prize money's not big, but the trophies are pretty good.
You would put that trophy up the back on your wall, but you'd have to make sure it was straight and level, though, wouldn't you, Daniel?
I'd have to build a level shelf, so I'd need to come down and get Toby's level to make sure I do the job properly.
It ain't Toby's level, don't kid yourself. It's Daniel's. So Danny, the brother.
He's had 10 wins, Dennis McIntyre, and he didn't worry about the Vic Cup and the Hunter Cup. He wanted the Elmore and the Birchip Cups, and he's managed to tick them off in his 10 wins.
Anyone wants to know why Dennis would come from Birchip area? His partner comes from the Elmore area. So
Moolur he's from.
Yes.
10 career wins from 110 starters. That's 1 in every 11. That's a pretty good going rate, Paul.
Easiest way to sell harness racing, give it back to the people. They just want to win. Doesn't matter about the prize money.
Isn't it great, Dan? I know it was a low-tiered race and all of that, and it's only 4,500, but to see a trophy like that go on to someone's mantelpiece that's got a bit of space of one. It's not going on one of our big trainers or big owners, into their houses. It's going in a little person of our sport who'll be very happy to show it off for the rest of their lives.
We might be able to get him on the show one day, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Don't know where. We're half light.
I want to know where Dot the I came from, Paul.
Well, he probably did that. He probably realised I didn't have to put an I every time above my name, so that might have been where it comes from.
We better ask him that question before we go on air, not after, because the answer after we go on, if we're live and the answer's not, the answer's not what we want to hear.
Is he by Shadow Play?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, very good.
Is he by Shadow Play? I thought you were going to give us the reason.
No, I was just testing my memory, and you came out with it. Topes, what are we up to? The discussion points. Well, are we going to go with yours this week since I haven't done your tiles?
You haven't done the tiles, so it's going to be a bit harder to explain. So
no, very, very good. Daniel, standing starts.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've sort of.
Come on, now, if you're going to do it, there's no hesitation. You've got to get on the front foot and sell it. Come on.
I have. I was just going to say I've been restraining myself for 10 or 11 episodes here with this. So
just hang on. My phone's ringing. Adam, how are you, Adam? Yeah. Yep. We know. Yep. We know. We know, Adam. Adam, just let us talk about it. All right. Thanks, mate. Bye. Sorry, mate. Adam Hamilton.
Has he gone?
Yeah.
Has he gone?
Yeah. I don't even know.
Sure?
He's gone. He's hung up. But somehow he knew we were talking standing starts.
Well, it is a bugbear of mine that we got rid of the standing starts in the pacing races. Obviously, we still have it in the trotters, but when we've got a change, obviously changes to the rating system, and we've brought that sort of thing in. I think it's time that we brought back the standing starts for the pacing races. You've only got to look at the horses that have gone across to Tasmania for the Tasmanian Pacing Cup. There's a lot of Victorians that are going over there. And it's obviously an opportunity to race in a series for, a race that's worth $75,000. It's an important, tool in our sport, if it's done correctly. Now, that's the big thing for me. It's got to be done properly. We've had a lot of, different methods and techniques that have been used across, the last little while. But I think we need to work on a method that suits everybody and that trainers can train their horses too. But we need to have that tool back in the handicapping system. It's all right to have preferential draws on dollars and age and sex and all that sort of thing. But I really miss the standing starts for the paces. I miss it in the country cups, and I miss the normal standing start race that you might see. It used to see a lot of the old C2 or better standing start races, and they used to be really good contests. I think they're a lot better, betting contests as well. I mean, I know a lot of guys prefer predictability in the trots and that sort of thing, but I mean, if you want predictability, go and play roulette because there's only two colours, red or black. But you're betting on horses racing, so I think it's a little bit unpredictable, the stands. But I think if we introduce it again and get the system right, it can work. And I would love to see it back in Victoria because it's not you don't like seeing all the horses going across the Tassie to race in a big race when we can certainly do something of our own in Victoria.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Dan, for picking me. He's 6 missed calls I've had since I hung up on him. Unbelievable.
Sorry.
Daniel, just out of curiosity, the Woodland shirt that I'm wearing, what colour is it?
Green. There's green at roulette. Is his point. Now, what
Nearly pulled me ears out there with your foot.
Sorry, Paul.
No, who plays 00? Seriously.
Well, Paul doesn't drink, so he plays 00 at all times. What I would like to see, and what I love the two argument case. If we'll run all these races, we'll spread them out, and if trainers want to opt to go to them, they can go to them. They don't have to go to them. Right? Yep, we can cop that as a policy. Standing starts, no, we're not programming them because people don't get a choice to choose. Give them the choice to choose. I made an argument once with a former CEO of HRV that why can't we just run them in one region of the state and see how they go? Get rid of the supplementary races, run a stand start, and discretionary handicap it. And if you put them on and people don't want to go in them, they won't run them.
Yep.
And I did some stats on it around horses in those sup races that when the sup race didn't happen, none of those horses raced in the next fortnight. So it's not like the problem with it was if you run them in a stand start race and the return is only $500 per horse on the TAB, they might run in a mobile race 2 days later and the return might be $1,000 per horse on the TAB. So the issue with a standing start race is that there'll be more turnover on them when they go into a mobile race. But at the tracks like a Warragul, a Terang, a Horsham, a Hamilton, the further outlying clubs where there's a smaller pool of horses and a wider spread of classes, that's where the stand start system really works well. At Ballarat, Bendigo, Shepparton, Kilmore, there's big pools of horses, so we can have smaller grades of horses. When we've got a mobile start race from 55 to 70, and you can claim back in, it's too big a band of horses at a Swan Hill or something like that. So those fields don't get up. They're the races that need to be stand start races, if you ask me.
I don't disagree.
Just stop ringing, right? Just stop.
Disagree at all. And you'll take the mickey there out of 1A Hamilton, but that is one of the issues. It has also got a perfect betting market that is just waiting to be taken there in Betfair. I mean, we don't have to worry about it. We can say the word. It's not a dirty word on our show, but Betfair and TA and standing starts would be sensational. Because if the favourite gallops out, if it's galloping, you can start backing something else that you like, or you can lay the favourite, but you're not going to know if it's going to gallop for 5 strides or 50 strides. And that's the thing. It makes it, and then sell it to a whole different audience. Here is your way of being able to bet. I understand with Tobes that they're saying about the TAB turnover being down and all the rest. Look outside the square, guys. Think differently because the marketplace is changing and it is ever changing. So they've got to think outside the square.
And saying the amount of money that gets wagered on races, there's so much saturation of racing across the coast, particularly the greyhounds and the gallops, and they're betting on international races and things like that. The amount of money that gets wagered is not a huge amount. So that's exactly right, Paul. What you're saying about utilising Betfair as another option for the sport and for punters because. This wall-to-wall racing is just saturation overload, and you've got to think outside the square. And certainly, standing starts and Betfair, it's a combination that could certainly work.
One last point on this: I think the first one back should be at Hamilton.
Why?
Hamilton, and we'll
I don't
call
think Daniel got it yet.
We'll call it the Adam Hamilton Stakes or something, and we'll run it at Hamilton.
Fair to say, I got it a bit quicker than you, Daniel. That's fair to say.
You did. I had no idea what the hell are you on about.
Now, before we go, Paul, we've got to mention we're going to Mount Gambier. We haven't worked it out yet, but we'll go to Mount Gambier. We've got Saturday night. We're giving some live coverage
That'll be as quality as
through
this.
Facebook. That wasn't me worst one.
It was more Daniel's reaction. Sorry.
We'll be at Mount Gambier on Saturday night. I'll be backing up at Charlton on Sunday, and for the big punt off. This punt off concept we've got 10 in it this year, Paul. It's going to be that good. I can see it turning into a 30, 40 person deal the next year. I reckon every man his dog will be there. I'm not sure how we'll manage it when that gets to that, but that's not this year's problem. You want to just get online, get on to Trot's Vision on Sunday if you can't be at Charlton, and just have a look at what we're doing. Whenever these 10 punters there on the day, they're spending their own money to invest in the races to make money for themselves. Now, you can have punters clubs.
But they're also raising money for charity.
Yeah, there will be some charity element to it, but what you want these Mitch Sidebottoms, Darren Carrolls betting for themselves with their own money to make a profit, and there's a $2,500 prize to the best punter on the day. They are going to be trying their absolute best, and you can sit there, watch what they're betting, learn how they do it, follow them on the day. If Sue Murray has 500 on a horse in the first race, what are you going to do? You're going to back it yourself.
Yeah.
If Mitch Sidebottom has 500 on a horse in the next race, go and back it as well. If you followed all their big bets for the day, you almost guarantee you are going to follow hundreds of hours of work and research they put into the sport. It's going to be a wonderful insight and a wonderful day. And I know you're going to be there, Dan. So you and I will be there, and Paul, you'll be probably passed out from your big night at Mount Gambier, and I'll just back up. I'm going to do a mass destruction next week.
Back to Mount Gambier. We'll have
stuff up at Mount Gambier and then win in Charlton.
I'll go about it, Mount Gambier, because Paul probably won't turn me volume on or something.
We will be live at Mount Gambier. For all the participants down that area, please come and see us. We want to change it right up. We're not going to it's not going to be a stock standard show. We are going to change it right up. We want to be able to promote. Yeah, we want to promote what they're doing as well. We are absolutely wrapped. Any truth in the rumour that you're working for a tray of meat? Is that correct?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah. I've been
Did you get told that?
Yeah. He ran it past me. I choked. I was like, anyway. So.
No, I understand. From when I was at Trots Guys Victoria, I know every club in Victoria gets effectively $10,000 per race meeting to put it on. And $10,000 sounds like a lot, but you've got to pay for clerks of the courses and vets, and there's a lot to come out of that. So basically for a club, it's 10 grand in and 10 grand out. Mount Gambier get $2,000 a meeting.
Yep.
And then they have to pay all those same people or get volunteers. So it was pretty hard for me to put my hand out, and I am asking for a meat tray. My accountant's sitting over there, and he's scratching his head now, working out how he's going to declare that I've got a meat tray to declare on my tax return somehow.
Absolutely. Now, we must give a big rap to Danny, your brother, for letting us set up here. It's been a little bit of fun. We've been doing some yearling promotion as well, so you can tune into Campbell's comments. You'll be seeing both the videos going up live with, I must say, some pretty A1 voiceovers. Would you say, Topes?
Oh, look, the voiceovers are good, but the yearlings really, Paul, they are absolutely magnificent, I must admit. Have a look at the green grass in the background here. Have a look at the green grass. That's not watered or anything. That is how it is in the Yarra Valley.
Watered right at the minute.
It's getting watered right now, but...
Daniel, Toby says to me, come here. He said, you want to see the setting? It's sensational. All people get to see is the swimming pool and, unfortunately, a crate sitting against a post. Didn't notice that crate, Danny, until just said, sorry, mate. It is a sensational setting. Well done to everyone here at the Yarra Valley. It's a beautiful place. The yearlings have been raised in some really, really great country. I must say, there are even pirates next door. It's amazing country down here, I must say. What is going on?
The pirate reference, Arg is next door. Or the owner of Arg is next door.
On. Stay tuned for Campbell's comments. You'll find plenty of these videos going up. We sent one of Lee Miles's last week. Tune into them all. Don't forget, the sale, the nutrient sale is on April 10 and 11. Don't forget Barrastock. Don't forget Woodlands, NZB, Cambrai. Mate, you've got 10 plugs today. You want to come up with some more than just a couple of hats, buddy. I tell you, there's no pressure on there. You at least want a coffee cup, wouldn't you?
I've got a coffee cup.
You got a coffee cup?
I've got a coffee cup and a hat and a beanie, Paul. I've done pretty well out of NZB, but I think...
Did you get one of the pens, the gold pens?
I think after the number of plugs we got, I reckon we nearly have enough flybys to get there.
Oh, absolutely. And Woodlands, they're in New Zealand as well, aren't they?
I forgot me Woodlands.
Danny might have an American Ideal coming in the year after, mightn't he?
No, it's a 2-year-old this year that it's looking very, very nice. Very, very nice.
That might have been put at Daniel Hibbert's here like, what are these two muppets on about? All right, we better go. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if this will be up at 4:30, but it'll be close to it. And we'll be back next week if The three of us may be together at Charlton Post, all that they're doing. It'll just depend a little bit on me and my schedule and going from there. So everything's good. Toby McKinnon, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. A bit of fun today.
Daniel Hibbard, goodbye.
Hello. See ya.
See you, mate.